So, what do you need to know about me? I've known the organizer for 10 years, but we never spoke until today, because I thought I have the coolest event in town, the Global Technology Symposium, which will take place next month. And I know everybody in Silicon Valley because that's what happens when you leave Soviet Union to go to school. I went to Berkeley, go Bears. And while you're at school, you see the news that the country where you grew up doesn't exist anymore. And that's it. And the next day I became an American, and I'm proud to be one, but I still love that part of the world. So we started the symposium because we thought that great ideas can come from all over the world. But Silicon Valley is the only place when they translate into, what is it you say, unicorn, yeah, that thing? I don't believe in unicorns, by the way. I like gazelles. Because I've been in venture capital for over 10 years. I worked at DFJ, you know, that fund, which was the first fund to invest in companies founded by Elon Musk. I sat on the board meetings when Elon Musk was present, but I myself have never created my own unicorn. And that is why I go out and meet with talented group of entrepreneurs all over the world, thinking that it takes somebody outside Silicon Valley to come up with that idea, be fearless, but to turn it and build it into a company, you must be in Silicon Valley. And yes, I love Boston and Texas and New York and Seattle, but Silicon Valley is the place. So for Alexander to have a series of events where you actually have an opportunity to pitch, and the more you pitch, the better. Because even if you pitch to people who probably won't write you a check tonight, they might give you feedback. They might ask you questions that will help you think of what you do in a different way. And I'm not going to take any more of your time. Alexander, thank you for having me. So my event will be October 24, 25 in Menlo Park, near hotel, Global Technology Symposium. And we will have founders of the US venture capital. Yeah, you know, those people who wrote first checks for Apple. Microsoft didn't take venture capital, by the way. So I cannot do Apple, Microsoft. Oracle did. They also will talk about how they were teaching venture capital at Stanford. And you know how many Stanford graduates started companies? I went to Cal, but I still like Stanford, it's okay. Then we'll talk about the origin of capital. We want to know who is financing all those venture funds. You know, as a venture capitalist, I'll tell you, if you think it's hard to pitch to a VC, you know how hard it is for a VC to raise money for a fund. It's a very humbling experience. So real venture capitalists who will listen to you would know what you're going through. They will be your partners. They will not be your judges. But the judges tonight will give you great feedback. And with that, Alexander, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. So we are ready to start, and today we will be listening to the exciting pitches of selected 10 startups. Here the order of pitches. And also we invited judges who will ask questions and rate startups from 1 to 5, where 5 is the highest mark, which means that they believe this startup is interesting for investment. And after all pitches, we will announce the winner according to the judges' voting. So let's start, and let's start from the first startup. Each presenter will have 4 minutes for pitch, then a Q&A session with judges. Please.
Right? Yes. Okay. Hello, I'm Sam Skinner. I'm the COO of All of Us Financial. The financial services industry lacks transparency. This results in billions and billions of dollars a year being made by middlemen and through hidden fees. Our solution is to bring radical transparency to this marketplace. We're going to be the world's first investing platform that pays you to trade. We announced this just this week at Finovate. Not only will we pay you to trade, but we also have unique social features that are built into the platform. They're getting some rave reviews from a lot of the press that was there. Community league tables is one that is getting a lot of interesting press. This is the industry that we're going after. It's the online trading industry. Very interesting chart. You can see how it started with discount brokers, and then it became deep discount. Then it was commission-free with Robinhood. We're going beyond that. We're going negative commission. We're going to actually pay you to trade. The way we're going to do that is we're going to show you how all these firms are making billions of dollars, and we're going to, in turn, pay that back to our clients. Al Grujic is the brains behind this, CEO, brilliant person. I've known him for 15 years. He built, for over a decade, TD Bank's trading systems throughout the world. Then he started a high-frequency trading firm. Made $100 million with that firm. It was called Infinium Group. CEO of Robinhood actually worked for him before he left and started his own high-frequency trading firm, which became Robinhood. Kind of an interesting side note. We've got, I was the COO at Woodside Capital, M&A firm down the valley. Ian Clark, CTO, $1 billion IT budget at Capgemini. And Rick Kondos, a huge important person for us. Go-to-market strategies, he ran for Fitbit and Credit Karma. This is a B2C play, so it's really important to have a good person in that category. This was us presenting at Finovate this week, CEO and CTO. This is how we're going to make money. You all know about margin, you all know about credit. What you probably don't know about is stock lending and payment for order flow. These are areas that firms are making billions of dollars a year in, and you're not even realizing it. We're capping the amount of money we make at 50 basis points on your assets out of the savings that we get you. So we're aligned with our investors. You can see here, we're the only firm that will pay you all of these revenue flow items. Give you an idea, this is on margin rates. We're about half of the competition. So give you some examples with numbers here. We save you about $2,000 a year if you have a $50,000 margin balance. Credit, we're about 4 times the competition on credit. Payment for order flow, this is where it gets really interesting. They sell your orders. Every time you enter an order on an online brokerage firm, they sell their order to a middleman. It's a huge business. Everyone's doing it. It's your order. Why are they making money off of it? That money should go to you. Robinhood made $110 million last year doing this. TD Ameritrade made $320 million 2 years ago doing this. It's your order. You should get it. Stock lending. This is a huge one. No one really realizes. Like if you own Canopy Growth, you can lend that stock out for 15%. It's being done if you have an account and it's in a street name, they're lending it out and they're making 15% on your ownership of that stock. We're going to give those revenues back to you. Scale is key for us. We're only going to keep 50 basis points on the assets, so that's $500 for every $100,000 you have on the platform. But it's about getting clients, and we think this is the right way to go. Massive market opportunity. If we get just 0.5% of this market, we will do $500 million in revenue. I mean, it's gigantic. So we just launched at Finovate. We were onboarding 100. There's 24 clients currently trading on our platform. We're going to onboard 100 more in Q4, and then we're building a wait list right now, which is growing rapidly, and we're going to onboard those clients in Q1. Financial summary, we don't need lots of people. 10,000 members. Time? All right, and here's the ask. We've put $2 million in, the CEO's funded with $2 million, and we've raised $1 million already in a convertible note, and we're looking for $1 million. Apex Clearing through Peak 6 was the investor who put the $1 million in, and a couple of angels. So thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Fastest I've ever done that.
Questions? Yeah.
So, I have a question for you here.
Hard to see up here, sorry.
So trading costs and commissions have come way down, the last 10, 15 years. And it's already a very skinny business. And now, you're going to pay the customer, to do business with you. How do the margins work, and, what do you have to get to from an asset perspective, to make the business worthwhile?
Sure. So if you looked at the revenue model, we think our average account size will be $50,000. And Robinhood is much smaller, but we think we have a more sophisticated client base. And so 100,000 clients, $50,000, that's 50 billion. 50 billion at 50 basis points, that's 25 million, right? So it's about those are the margins, basically. Yeah.
It's very impressive about what you raised so far, but this all boils down to the customer base, how you acquire customers. So can you shed some light on what is the sales cycle, what is the cost per customer acquisition, and what makes your customer base so unique?
I've got lots of slides on it, but we have a whole go-to-market strategy, which I can get into a lot of detail, but here's probably what you're looking for: client acquisition cost. We think that a podcast strategy is going to be a good target for this audience. So we're going to pursue podcasts. We have gamified waiting lists. Again, the marketing person behind this has done several large campaigns, Fitbit, Credit Karma. He's worked for TD Ameritrade, so he knows the space really well. And he actually had two companies he worked for who launched at Finovate within the last 5 years that have been quite successful. So one of the reasons we decided to use Finovate. We have a PR firm that's kicked in just this week. So, it's go time.
Question? First of all, you're solving a huge problem that even exists, so congratulations. This is really cool. But that's also part of the problem, is that it's such a specialized activity. How do you educate your customers? How do you educate your public? How do you educate your investors that this is a huge problem unless you're really part of that, financial services industry?
Well, we think there'll be a lot of network effects to this, but we are going to do some innovative things on our website. For example, you can put in a stock symbol and it'll tell you if there's a lending rate on it. So, right off the bat, you could have an ETF. I didn't even realize ETFs have lending rates, but you could own an ETF bond fund and get 8%. You could have that at Morgan Stanley or Fidelity or wherever. They're getting that money, not you, so you can just open an account and trade that in. But also on our platform, we're going to have a daily ticker of the cost savings that you are receiving year to date. So I think it'll be fairly powerful.
Thank you. One more question.
Okay, now you have, closest competitor, which is Robinhood. And how are you going to make sure that you are able to compete with them? Because if they see opportunity, they're going to come after you. And they have enough fund, they have enough customer base. How are you going to make this war a kind of win for you?
Good question. Robinhood has recently raised a couple $100 million. They're going in a totally different direction. They're going upstream. They're going into auto insurance. They're going into life insurance. They're going into credit cards. They're going after student loans, banking. So they're really going a different direction. I don't think they're going to be just worried about their trading market. They did a land grab. They got all the millennials. And to be honest, we really only want probably 10% of their clients, and that's the upper 10. That the average account size is about $1,500. There's a lot of accounts that have like $100 or $200, and we're really going more after E-Trade and TD Ameritrade. Those are the two who have legacy systems. They can't really pivot. They're not in the cloud. They're getting Fidelity and Schwab are kind of the kings, and they're really hurting them from the top. And Robinhood is, kind of taking them from the bottom. But we really think that they're the two that are the most vulnerable that we would go after, and we know them really well.
Thank you. I think it's time, and we need to switch to the other pitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Performance.
Good evening. My name is Leila, and I'm the founder of Chef Küçülü. Küçülü means little in Farsi, Turkish, Italian, and a bunch of other languages. Every parent's biggest wish is to have a child that's happy, healthy, and smart. Do our parents agree? And yet, childhood obesity continues to be on the rise. Kids are failing school, and children are becoming depressed. A number of scientific journals indicate there is a direct correlation between unhealthy eating and poor academic performance. Our vision is to improve the health, happiness, and education of children worldwide. Our story began right here in Silicon Valley when I started volunteering at my daughter's school by teaching healthy cooking from around the world. And soon the school offered to pay me money for this, and other schools reached out and asked if I could do the same thing. I couldn't because I was working full time. So I thought I'll create this app that I could just give to other people to use teaching. So the idea of our game begins when a child chooses a country from our 3D interactive globe and is immediately presented with fun facts about the country. As they begin cooking, we infuse math and science and engineering-related concepts specific to their age group. And of course, the main objective for our program is to introduce kids to healthy eating, getting them to love fruits and vegetables. And doctors, teachers, educators love what we're doing. We did a survey with 1,000 parents, and we discovered that after only 3 Chef Küçülü lessons, kids started eating fruits and vegetables. And after about 4 lessons, they started saying they love math and science. These were topics they hated before. So this is a chart of how schools get judged and ranked in the US. And as you can see with the red marks, we pretty much help with everything except for the teacher-to-student ratio. We've been recognized by a number of institutions such as the National Science Foundation, Chilean government, Walmart, and been awarded up to $1 million in non-dilutive funds. And thanks to the National Science Foundation, we were able to validate our learnings academically and discover that kids improve learning math and science by 51% after only 10 lessons. We have been profitable since day one, but working on a pilot mode. And we've gotten to know our customers intimately well. And thanks to their help, we are going to switch to a SaaS model, selling the software as a subscription per year. And doctors, teachers, educators in the community have embraced and loved the impact we're making. Education is actually a very hot market. And we think on average, the developing countries spend more than $10,000 per student. And there's, of course, a number of competitors here that focus on teaching kids STEAM through technology in the classroom, but not combine it with healthy eating, simply because schools don't have a budget to pay for healthy eating. And that's why we combine it with the topics they do have budget on. And we are first to market with this idea. We do have a patent. And we are pricing ourselves at $25 per student per year. And you can see how our competitors are priced. That the $25 include ingredients, and the $7 is just for the app. Our go-to-market strategy is simple. I was a go-to-market strategist before launching my own company. But email campaigns, conferences, and thought leadership is how principals discover new applications. We have the perfect mix of passion and experience to scale this project globally. My co-founder and I both were educators. I've worked for the French Ministry of Education before we launched our careers. in education, and our advisors include Dr. Michael Brenner, Dr. Richard Zaire from Harvard and Stanford, who pioneered the concept of teaching science through cooking, as well as Tom Kalinske, former CEO of Mattel and Leapfrog Technologies. We're looking for $1 million in seed, and the US government will match it for $500K. So help us make the world a more delicious place, one recipe at a time. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Yeah, Bill?
First of all, mashallah.
Thank you.
You're targeting kids, but the parents are the customers, okay? And acquiring parents, customer acquisition cost can be high. What's your strategy there?
Well, actually, we are targeting schools. We have a B2B2C strategy. So by aligning the content to national learning standards, in particular on NGSS, Next Generation Science Standards, we are providing a solution for schools. NGSS and Common Core Math were rolled out a few years back, but many schools just are not teaching science right now because there's not enough teaching material in the market. So that is why that alignment is key for us, because then schools, even if our software was totally crappy right now, they would buy it because there's no other competitor. Of course, that will change, and that's why it's key for us to get the investment now, because being part of the National Science Foundation cohort, I know at least 5 other startups who are working on creating a solution for NGSS, but none had as much success with pilots as we did. Not so much for math and science.
Questions?
Hi, very impressive. Just one advice for you, maybe it will help you. You might not know that Intel has a very large presence at Chinese educational market. They actually have technology that is tracking emotional journey of kids. You know that, right?
Yes.
All right, just in case you didn't, yeah, that would be a great partner for you to like further along your journey to reach to Chinese education.
We'd love any introductions. We've tried.
I can help you out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Questions?
Fantastic progress in the last 4 years.
Thank you.
I'm seeing you. You know, is there a chance to, make the real physical cooking optional and make it all games? Because then it can really go scale and go viral. It seems that becomes a very brick and mortar obstacle. This can really, because we are now mentoring 2 edtech companies, I understand now this very well.
So you see the 2 options I showed, so there is a chance, yeah. So we have the $7 and then the $25. The $25 includes the actual cooking. The $7, the teacher can send the recipes as homework assignments and just buy the software.
Thank you. Yes.
It's been 3-4 years. Why are you raising now? Have you raised before?
To be honest, when I first started to raise, I'm 44 years old. Like, I spoke to a few VCs. They said, wow, you're so old. Why are you raising? You didn't go to Stanford, blah, blah. So I just thought, okay, I don't stand a chance. So I was like, who am I to be raising? I didn't go to Stanford. So I went to my customers and I said, sorry, guys, I had a job offer from Facebook. I'm going to go back to work. And they were like, what? We need you. There's other sources of funding. And they helped me get the NSF. And they said that with academic validation, it would be easier. So now that I have the academic validation, I think it's a good time to raise. Plus, the government will match the funds now. So I don't really need the money right now. When I really needed it, none of the investors wanted to invest. Now that I don't need it, government's like, will match. So I thought it's a good time.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We wish you great success. And thank you. And we invite next entrepreneur who will present next startup.
Hi, everybody. nobody knows, but D. Hook, the founder of Visa, when he created Visa as the first decentralized company in the world. And then a few years later, the bank found a loophole. They bought the small bank and took over. That was the point when he left Visa behind and never looked back. Today, when he's 9 years old, he has a cancer and he's about to die. He decided to join our team in order to help us alternative to Visa, something that he believed that can be better than what he built back then. A lot of people thinking about what's the future going to look like. Maybe there will be no paper money. Maybe there will be no credit card, PayPal, or Western Union. And maybe thinking that all the co-branded Visa or other credit cards will be replaced with co-branded digital coins. But in order to accomplish that, there is something missing right now in the industry. One is that the vehicle that move the money that need to replace the Visa need to have zero volatility. And I will explain you why. Because if you want to remove, for example, from Visa the process fee, 1-2% process fee, you cannot have a coin that have volatility. And second, when people trading digital coin with that type of coin, you need to have an exchange without volatility, which is another thing that do not exist today in the market. What we have created completely by accident during our work is a new protocol that's capable to remove completely the volatility in the first place. All other coins that exist in the industry or all other protocol that exists in the industry try to stabilize their coin in that way or another, but none of them really flat, zero volatility. And that's what we've been able to create, something that can create guarantee that now in 100 years from now, there is no volatility whatsoever because it's not possible. We're using that in order to create a turnkey platform. So every vendor can come and create his own stable coin. It doesn't need to take care of the regulation, liquidity, development. Just name the coin and build feature as you like, as an open source. And also we create with the same protocol, we create the first type of swap machine, not exchange, swap machine that allow you to move from one asset to another. All the exchanges that exist today in the industry, basically besides spread and fees that they're charging, there is also volatility that occur during the transaction. And this is the first of its kind that's going to be launched next month, that not only there is no spread, no fees, there is no KYC needed, even though it's completely compliant with regulation, there is no even hot wallet needed, but most of all, there is no volatility, which means if I'm transfer from asset A with $1,000 and I want asset B, there is no possibility whatsoever that I will get $999 or $1,001. Our team working together a few years. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I built 5 companies. I sold 3 of them. My last exit was in 2012. My advisory board, including world-class people like the previous chairman of the SEC himself, Nobel Prize winner, vice chairman of the NASDAQ, like I said, the founder of Visa, chief economist of the United States, CFO of Yahoo, co-creator of the prototype for Bitcoin, head of the blockchain in 500 startup, and many more. We do raising money for this project in order to comply with another layer of regulation that we're looking for, like S1, so we'll be able to allow everybody eventually to have that type of access. And what I'm meaning is access to everybody, non-accredited investors, so everybody can have an access for that project. And we also, this is my information, and we're also working with exchanges, stock market exchanges, traditional and crypto markets, so that's why we're raising the money in order to work with them and pay them to take that home run. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a great advisors. How did you find them? How did you really build this advisor like board or something? What about the team? And we haven't seen the team, I guess.
So that's just 4 of the team, but we have team of 20. Not all of them full time, but those are the top 4 that work in full-time. When it comes to how I get the advisors, it's like a lot of time. So for example, I'm chatting with the previous chairman of the New York Stock Exchange for over a year, and you're about to go and join our team. So it takes some time a year to bring someone in. You need to believe that what you're doing is really disrupting. and you really need to believe you and in the team and the concept and in the doing a lot of the diligence because this is their name over here. So they really, really check you out from all directions.
Good evening. My name is Ajay Jotwani. I'm the co-founder and CEO of i2Chain. i2Chain has a singular mission to be able to secure the two most valuable assets of an enterprise, information and identity. Now imagine your loan being processed by a bank. The bank transacts with over a dozen entities to underwrite that loan. Bank of America has 33,000 mortgage bankers and over 100,000 partners. And the only way they secure your personal identifiable information with these entities is by way of confidentiality agreements. GDPR and the privacy laws have very clearly mandated that enterprises must be accountable for personally identifiable information or pay 4% of the top line, 4% of the revenue as penalty. Marriott paid $125 million as penalty. Equifax settled for $700 million. The problem is 99% of the enterprises are unable to securely share and transact information. i2Chain is a succinct, easy-to-use, intuitive app that allows enterprises to securely share and transact information with integrity and with confidence. And we do it by leveraging 3 technology towers. The first tower is advanced cryptography that allows enterprises to secure the information by a single click. The second tower is adaptive rights management that injects policies and rights. And the third tower is the state-of-the-art blockchain-based, distributed ledger technology-based traceability, which means that even if that Bank of America mortgage banker or their partner goes rogue, your personal information still remains intact. How beautiful is that? The proof of the pudding, we have signed a $4.5 million deal with a technology services provider who is carrying out pilots with themselves and giving us corridor access into some of their biggest customers. In addition, we are at this point of time carrying out a pilot to be a core central part of an origination operations that will be around 150 to 200,000 transactions per month. We are also talking to a healthcare and scheduling our pilot for a 23 million subscriber base to secure that identifiable information, if you will. Having said that, we are not alone, but we differentiate ourselves by being storage agnostic and non-intrusive, which means we are perhaps the only company that secures you in your home in contrast to everybody else that you see on the board securing in their home. Everybody says, come to my cloud and I'm going to secure it, starting from Google and Microsoft and all the people that you can think of. But I'm also going to use some jargon here. We are also perhaps the only company that allows enterprises to harvest evidence quality forensics. And that's a huge deal for financial industry. The best part of i2Chain is its team. We have over 100 years of cybersecurity experience. And previously, the team has in total an aggregator of 35 patents. And this is previous to i2Chain, not an i2Chain asset at this point of time. Having said that, in my previous life, I was the vice president of strategy and product management at IBM. During my tenure at IBM, I was very fortunate to launch or incubate digital workplace services, and I led it to deliver $1 billion of signings in under a year. We have an excellent team that is able to deliver, and we launched our minimum viable product last month. At this point of time, we are offering a very exciting opportunity to our prospective investors. We are seeking $1.8 million as a convertible note, and we have raised at this point of time over $1 million, and we are in the process of signing up with the lead venture capitalist. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions, please? Yeah, okay.
Please. But can you explain more in detail how you solve the problem?
Sure. What we do is we have a strategy called as a one-click and zero-click. Our one-click strategy allows an enterprise user to attach our cryptography by a single click. That's how beautiful we are. I was the executive sponsor from IBM to Apple, and I learned that usability is the most important part. We have a zero-click capability, wherein at the infrastructure layer, we attach our cryptography based on the policies that the enterprise wants us. From there on, every action, if you read the document, we will say, Alexander, correct? Alexander read the document on blockchain. So our blockchain, our distributed ledger, captures, it's an immutable record that Alexander read the document. Alexander signed the document. Alexander distributed it to Casey. Casey sent it to a professor, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. So, any more questions? Yeah.
You have a nice partner. It seems like your goal is to reach something like 4.5 million ARR.
Correct.
And there are incoming pilots. But do you have any existing traction other than those real actual transaction? These are all
no. We launched our minimum viable product on July 19th.
Okay.
On November 4th, we plan to launch a select release. And with the select release, we will start billing some of these pilots that you see here. So we will become a revenue generating company effective November. At this point of time, we are pre-revenue.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, most welcome. Happy to take any other questions.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So,
have a good night.
yeah. Then sport.
Ready? Hello, my name is Mark Thomas. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zen Sports. Most people, when they think of sports betting, they think of some mafia guy chasing them down the street, ready to break their kneecaps if they don't pay off their gambling debts. Well, the reality is that sports betting is an actually very highly regulated, huge $120 billion market worldwide. But despite the fact that it's such a huge market, there exists a ton of problems with traditional sports bookmakers. They provide absolutely no value add to their customers. They charge huge fees, and there's a tremendous conflict of interest because they only make money when you, the customer, loses. I don't know about you, but that's not somebody that I would want to do business with. Well, Zen Sports is changing this and eliminating the bookmaker. And I'm here to tell you the 4 ways that Zen Sports is disrupting bookmakers. First of all, we've built an entirely peer-to-peer, decentralized sports betting mobile app marketplace where anybody can create and accept sports bets with anyone else in the world without the need for a bookmaker. You want to create a bet that LeBron James is going to score 20 points in the 4th quarter? No problem. You can do so, and we'll match you up to somebody all across the world who will accept that. Or you can create and share bets with your friends as well if you want to. And it's 100% mobile. We don't even have a web app. You can download our app from the App and Play Store. Secondly, we've created our own cryptocurrency utility token called Sports. We launched our utility token just 2 months ago. And with our utility token, you can place bets and earn rewards and discounts. And since we launched our utility token, 100% of all bets in our app have taken place using our token. But we don't want to stop there. We actually want to build an entire ecosystem and payment system for the sports and entertainment industry using our token. Think being able to purchase your team's favorite jersey on NFL.com using our token, then buying a ticket on StubHub to the game with our token, then betting on the game at the game with our token, and buying a hot dog and a beer with our token. As I mentioned before, our product is fully decentralized, so we don't use a bookmaker at all. We're not a bookmaker ourselves. We have a full penalty and reward system in place within the ecosystem to ensure that all parties act in good faith. And lastly, our product is fun, clean, and social. You can create and share bets with your friends. You can create chat rooms with them. You can upload stories. You can trash talk them. Gone is the day when some guy is sitting in a basement with 5 TV screens and 2 monitors betting on the game. This is the fun, new social way to bet on sports. Since we launched 6 months ago, we've achieved a ton of regulatory traction. As I mentioned, we have both App and Play Store approval to be in the App and Play Store. We have international gaming licenses that allow us to operate in over 100 countries worldwide. And we have an in-depth legal opinion that our utility token is an actual utility token and not a security token. We have had over 8,000 bets created and accepted in our app. We have over 200,000 a month in betting volume. and we're generating over $330 in annual revenue per customer. We have an awesome team. Myself, my last startup was acquired by Realtor.com in 2015, and we have not only prior startup, but also fundraising, as well as exit experience. We're currently raising a $500K seed round to take our existing product and traction and scale to the next level so that we can be Series A fundable in 12 months. And about 80% of the round is currently closed. So if you want to be part of the next revolution of sports betting, come talk to me. I'd love to have you on board. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So, question, how does the mechanics of, placing a bet and then winning a bet and then ensuring that you get paid after winning it work?
So you have to have, you have to have deposited funds and have an available balance before you can create or accept a bet. We deduct those funds from your available balance when you do so. And when someone accepts your bet, or if you accept someone else's, the maker of the bet is actually responsible for submitting the results. That goes back to the decentralized system I talked about. So what do we do to ensure that the maker submits correct results? We withhold a small 5 to 10% escrow fee from the maker to ensure that they submit correct results. If they don't submit correct results, the taker can dispute those results, and then that goes to the marketplace for voting. And they have the penalty of losing not just their original bet, but also the escrow fee on top of it.
Yes.
How do you make money and what are your revenue streams?
So we have a couple of ways that we make money. The primary way is that we charge a marketplace fee, again, similar to any other product that's a marketplace like Uber, Airbnb. We charge anywhere from 0 to 4% when you create or accept a bet, depending on whether you're the maker or the taker, and depending whether you use our sports token or whether you use US dollars or Bitcoin. We charge a lower fee if you use our token, and we charge a lower fee if you're the maker because you're providing liquidity to the marketplace.
Question.
So how rate of your token is formed? That is always fixed to the dollar, or it have some kind of volatility?
No, it does fluctuate. We have it listed on one exchange for trading, and we decided to do that because we already offer the option to bet with dollars. So if you want a stable coin to bet with, you can do so within our app, but you don't get the discounts and rewards and other perks by betting with our token by betting with dollars that you do with our token. And even though we've offered dollars for people to bet with, i.e. a stable coin, they've still chosen to bet with our token because of all the perks and rewards they get with it.
Is Betfair a competitor?
A little bit, but they're still heavy on kind of the setting of the odds side. They're not a true, pure, decentralized marketplace like we are. Their fees are still very kind of in line with what a traditional bookmaker charges, and they're not using their own cryptocurrency token to streamline the betting and rewards process. So that's how we feel we differentiate ourselves from them. There's a question over here. Right here.
Hi, you mentioned you had like several licenses with, I'm guessing, most of the popular sports right now that are being betted. Have you guys looked into esports by any chance? And do you have any of those leagues on your platform?
Yeah, at some point we'll probably add esports, but if you look at the total sports betting market, it's $120 billion. Esports is somewhere in the 3 to 5 billion size. So at some point we will get in there, but we want to start off with the bigger pie. And as a startup, we want to be laser focused on one thing and eventually expand to other areas at some point in time.
Perfect, thank you.
Hi. Excuse me, have you already said how many monthly users you are?
So I have about 7,000 signups. We have about 300 paying customers, so it's a conversion of about 4.5%, which is not bad for a consumer mobile app that you can sign up and download and get started in about 30 seconds. We'd like to get that up to about 6 or 7%, but with very little marketing and very little product marketing, we feel pretty good about those numbers.
Okay. And what's the average transaction per user?
So the average bet size is approximately $25. The number of bets is between 3 and 4 per month. And of course, we get people that are active every single day who are betting thousands and thousands of dollars every month. And then we get people who just bet once a month.
All right. Thanks.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Mark.
Any more questions?
Okay.
Ali?
My last startup was a real estate startup, SAAS. Almost the same type of thing, right?
Hi, guys. My name is Ali, and I'm the founder of VACAs. To start, I'll first start by telling a little bit about myself. I was born in Israel. I grew up in New York, and since the age of 12. At the age of 19, I opened my first company. My first company was helping small businesses grow. What I specialized is taking small businesses from revenues of $50,000 a month and making them and $500,000 a month. How did I do that? By expanding and opening more virtual locations around the US. And for a little bit of time that I was doing that, I noticed that I was helping them make a lot of money, but I'm not making anything for myself. I decided to go and take a break. I was renting out, I had a beautiful apartment in Times Square, and I said, there's no way I'm going away for a month and letting it sit empty. So I started doing it on Airbnb. And that was back like 7 years ago when Airbnb was still blue and white website. So doing that was taking a risk. But when I came back, I noticed that I made $10,000 just in 1 month. When I noticed the potential in making so much money just from renting out an apartment, I decided to take a risk and get more apartments. By the end of that year, I had 5 apartments, all running on Airbnb, making profits of between $25,000 to $30,000 a month per apartment. So in total, 5 apartments, I was making $1.5 million a year. It wasn't easy. It sounds like a lot of money, but it was not easy at all. I want to tell you exactly what are the issues that most people and most hosts and property managers usually go through. So when you're a host, and when you have a property and you decide whether you're going to rent it short-term or long-term, and you decide to rent it short-term, the first issue is low occupancy rate. The apartment that you're renting can sit empty for days, if not weeks. In order to overcome that issue, you have to advertise on multiple platforms, not just on Airbnb, but also on HomeAway, VRBO, Booking.com, Expedia, and such as. But when you do that, the number one issue that's happening is overbooking and cancellations. Because if you don't control the calendar, and you can receive many different bookings from different sites on the exact same date. When that happens, you have to cancel some of them and just keep one. When you're canceling reservations, you're causing unhappy guests, you get lots of penalties, and you're losing money. What we innovated is a new revenue source. We're basically turning overbookings and cancellations from lost income into an asset by basically enabling hosts to become lead generators. How do we do that? By building a marketplace. We've built a marketplace for hosts where they can sell overbooking and cancellation leads to those that are sitting vacant. By doing that, we're creating also a huge network effect, because what happens is when the algorithm of VACAs will try to find an alternative apartment within the VACAs network and will not find an alternative, it will go out of the search and go to the search engine of Airbnb or Booking or whatever that reservation came from, and will find an alternative that's not sitting right now on VACAs. But when it finds that, it will actually attract more hosts into VACAs by giving them the first lead for free. Just so you understand the value of the market, right now there are over 6 million vacation rental properties around the world. 40% of them are sitting vacant, while 10% are overbooked. Just if you focus on that 10% that's overbooked, average cost per night on Airbnb is $100 times 365 days a year. We're looking at $25 billion in opportunity. In addition to that, VACAs is also the first property management software to innovate a marketing ad tool. How do we do that? Most of our marketplace is basically sitting on a SaaS. It's a software that allows hosts to manage all of their properties all in one place. What other property management softwares in the market are doing right now, they take a property and they send it to many different channels. What we do is we allow a host to take a property and advertise it in many different varieties. And when you advertise in many different varieties, you're also receiving different clientele. And when you do so, you have a lot of different leads. And by controlling all those leads, and when you receive double booking and cancellations, selling those leads and making extra profit, you're making sure that your occupancy level is staying at a very high rate. Other SaaS features that we have is staff management tool, guest experience, the host network, and the host guest members club. Our go-to-market strategy is right now through Facebook and WhatsApp groups. Just on Facebook, we have over 60,000 hosts that are holding over 500,000 listings. By reaching out to them, and we've received a lot of our beta users this way. We also host meetups in New York and in Tel Aviv. And our referral network is also attracting the first lead for free by offering the first lead for free. The addressable market is 6 million listings worldwide. Right now, we plan to focus on the 5 large cities in order to open the host network. When we reach out to the small hosts, we're able to actually allow them to sell the leads to the big and large groups that are mostly sitting vacant. Our traction, we're right now certified with Rentals United, we're API provider. We're able to send out properties to 155 different channels, including the top ones, which are Airbnb, Google, Expedia, HomeAway, Booking, and TripAdvisor. We have 1,000 listings in beta, and we finished GA version 1. Currently, we're receiving 600 new monthly from properties from Rentals United. Our business model is $5 per listing, and we're charging 8% on each referral host network transaction.
Okay, it's time.
I'll skip this and go to the competitive just so you can take a look. And our team, we're a team of 7 right now. We have these advisors, which I can talk about later. And what we're looking for right now is $1 million. We've already closed a safe round with $100,000, and I've invested so far $200,000 into the company. Thank you.
Out of 1,000 listings, how many transactions you have as of today?
We've launched 2 weeks ago,
2 weeks.
so those are still under free trial. Most of them are beta users, so they're getting 3 months for free, but the new ones only have 30 days for free. So we're looking at of getting our first revenue in late October.
Okay, thank you.
Questions? Yes. Thank you. Are you operating in New York office?
Yes, so our R&D team are sitting in Israel, and we have a New York office where I'm sitting, and we're opening a sales and marketing now.
So a question to follow that is, as you know, New York has a very tight political and official rule: one home, one Airbnb. No person is allowed to operate more than one unit, and potentially it's gonna be even illegal to rent your own entire place. So how do you manage that risk?
We're currently not accepting properties in New York. So actually, we're sitting in New York, but we're working with properties around the US and also around the world.
Thank you. Any questions? Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. How are you going to reach the property owners? You mentioned about Facebook and WhatsApp, but these will not be only enough, I guess. Could you please tell a little bit more about your marketing strategy?
Sure. So what we plan to do is open the host network when we have the hosts that are basically offering us to sell their leads. We're able to attract more hosts into vacays. So that's mainly our main strategy. Right now, we have a lot of people signing up, but we also we don't have enough people on to get them on board because we have the 600 new leads that we're receiving every month from Rentals United. So we have a lot of properties coming up that we need to bring on board, and the rest we assume will come also through marketing and through the host network.
Since I saw you pitch yesterday at my event and WeWork Labs send you to me, so do they open up their network for you? Are you managed to leverage WeWork's offices around the world and find their tenants who would be your customers? Or is there any strategic link with them?
Yes, being part of the WeWork Labs, they're connecting us not just to investors and networking events and all those kind of stuff. They're also connecting us with other startups that have different type of prop tech community that are also connecting and getting us also more leads and properties.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you very much, Ali. Dark horse. Yes.
Hello, hello.
Billy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Billy Brush, and I'm the CEO of Dark Horse, the youth sports operating system. Meet the top 4 youth athletes who have never been discovered. And Dark Horse is changing this by enabling them to be discovered like never before. Athlete performance is not tracked in the United States currently, and coaching is not scalable. The solution is Dark Horse, a youth sports analytics platform which objectively enables analysis of youth's analysis of performance tracking, automated highlight reels, and virtualizing coaching. Displayed is our MVP, which as you can see, it has shots on goals percentage and the coach's feedback. Here you can see the head coach of Man City, who is spotted Juan, the top youth soccer player in the United States at 10 years old. Dark Horse is revolutionizing the scouting and recruiting process. As you can see, amongst the competition, Dark Horse does it all, to include virtual coaching, which is absent in this marketplace. We have 2 patents pending currently, and as a director of coaching, we have immediate access to over 350 youth players and an isolated marketplace. By 2024, the marketplace will be $58 billion, and we're focusing our efforts on 3.2 million of those players ages 6 to 12. We intend to capture 80% of the marketplace, yielding $1.6 billion through virtualizing coaching and a monthly SaaS subscription with our features as we've discussed. Our go-to-market strategy encompasses testing with 3 youth sports NorCal youth soccer clubs before our national rollout, along with partnering with the coolest influencers to get out our message. As you can see here, as our product matures, or as the players mature, our product enters the collegiate and the professional marketplaces. We truly have a dream team with expertise from Stanford, MIT, and advisory support from the United States Soccer Federation. As you can see, Didier Chamberon is our advisor, who is the head of youth soccer curriculum in the United States. We are currently raising $1.5 million during the seed round, and we've currently raised $60,000 for our MVP. Dark Horse is extremely passionate about adding value to the youth sports marketplace, and we really, really thank you for your time.
Thank you. All righty. Hi, everybody. My name is Jen Edmond. I am founder and CEO of Event Hollow, a place where you can discover, book, and finance your wedding all in one marketplace. So has anybody planned a wedding, known someone who's planned one before? Was it really fun? Probably not. So we all understand the problems that couples have when they plan a wedding. Most of us have either been married or know someone who's been married, spent a ton of money planning and booking all of these things, the vendors, the flowers, everything. And it takes over a year to plan. There's so many vendors that you have to hire and manage and people you have to manage throughout the course of your entire year. Most of these people that are doing all this are brides, usually between the ages of 25, 35. Now they're the CEO of their wedding, trying to hire people and manage them while they have their own jobs and lives. And the other side of it are vendors. And these are the problems that people don't really know too much about. I've been a wedding planner, excuse me, for the last 10 years. And these vendors have just so many issues. This is such an antiquated and just broken industry. These vendors spend so much time and money chasing leads from the current competitors or the current solutions that are out there right now. And they're literally handwriting receipts and working off of Google Docs to make their businesses work. These are all creatives, these are artists. So what we've done is we've built a marketplace, a two-sided marketplace, B2B and B2C. It's all on the web right now. So, and how we've designed this, it's made it different from our competitors, is that we have standardized packages and pricing, which makes a very simple shopping solution. So couples can literally go in, pick a package, like for catering, flowers, DJ, whatever, customize it based on their needs, add to the cart, and then book it instantly and finance it. And how they do that, they can even estimate the entire cost of their wedding within a matter of minutes rather than hours or days or years, however long it takes, and then all of a sudden you're finding out 6 months out you're spending way more money than you thought. Well, you can see where every dime will go before you spend it. And we have an intelligent pairing system that pairs you to the right vendors for you based on style. You take an entire test that then pairs you to the right vendors for you. Integrated vendor calendars, that means no more asking anybody if they're available for your date, how much do you cost, all of that's gone. One contract for all services rendered, so no more reviewing tons of contracts and negotiating terms. You just have one to do that with. Flexible payments and financing. So this is a quick look at what packages look like. If you're trying to book a florist, you can start with, okay, I need, yada, yada, $3,800 for this most popular one. Then go in, customize it based on your needs. If you need to add another bouquet or whatever it is, keep adding more and then customize it completely. And then all the vendors that are available for your date and that are most compatible then are ordered in order of like most compatible to least compatible based on date available and also style and compatibility with like personality and everything. Competitive landscape. There's some really big players out there, but no one actually allows a single transaction online. And that is because they don't have the key differentiators of letting you actually shop and make a purchase. So transactions are what makes this entire booking, vendors online, actually possible. So with standardized pricing and vendor calendar integration, that's the only way you can ever make a transaction of any type of service online. And with our current competitors, to try to do that, they would have to annihilate their existing networks of hundreds, thousands of vendors that they have on there, and then trust them to keep their calendars up to date. And they don't vet them. That's another big thing. So anybody who thinks they're anybody can go ahead and create something that thinks they're something to now compete against everybody else in the platform. And now you have to trust them to keep their calendars up to date. They have to abide by the contracts. So it's a really big process. So we really vet every single company that comes into our network. And then we have this whole intelligent pairing aspect where all of these vendors also take a quiz and are paired to the right clients for them. So there's no more having to chase leads. They just get qualified clients. Total addressable market, we all know there's a ton of money in this area. People spend a lot of it on their wedding days. Just here in the Bay Area, this is where we're launching. Since this is where I started my business, I know that people here, $2.5 billion is spent just here in the Bay Area on their weddings every year. We profit 20% for every service booked. So there's no subscription. We don't just make people pay every month for no reason and for a bunch of leads that don't go anywhere. They only pay when they actually get booked for something. And how that looks like with pricing services, they range anywhere from like $100 to $15,000. We make 20% from every package booked. And we can talk about that later, but on average, our transaction is about $2,400 for just each transaction. They do multiple transactions over the course of their wedding. Our traction is we did an alpha test last year, and we have some pretty good traction. We're actually going to be on TV with Meet the Drapers in a few months, and we have 300 vendors in the platform right now. Our go-to-market strategy is for really social media for both sides of it. Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, 86% of brides are living on these platforms every day, planning their weddings. And our projected revenue, it's based on the metrics on the right. So with 465 vendors, the black is us and the white is the top line. And this is our team. So all of these people, we have our CTO, his wife is a wedding planner, and he left when he heard about Event Hollow, his other job, and he's come in and he's really built this platform for us. And David Stone-Resnick is actually from Bay Angels, and he came and worked with us as well. And Danielle is a venue manager, and I've been doing this for 10 years. and our advisory team, and our ask is 500. We have about half of that committed right now. And so yeah, that's what we're doing. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
This is your market. How are you going to scale this business?
Yes. So since we're just starting here, and wedding planners like me are the ones that are experts as to networks in their industry. So using other wedding planners in every other locality to then actually build their networks there. Wedding planners are losing their jobs left and right because the whole rise in the DIY trend for everybody thinking that they can do their own wedding. So wedding planners are seeing a major decrease in their wedding planning packages not being purchased anymore. And so now all of a sudden there's all these wedding planners that have all this expertise and nothing to do it with. So these people are the ones that we want to employ and also have ambassadors in every single category of vendors and have them also to recruit.
Thank you. Questions? Okay.
Yeah, I've seen you in some of our partner events, like friends with Mike Rogers and Soy Ventures. So your name is Event Hollow. That's a good name. That's very broad. And when you get a customer, he or she probably won't get married again for a long time. So can you broaden it, have offerings which is beyond wedding? Because once someone is satisfied with you, you know, they are loyal to you. So is there a way for you to get, you know, recurring revenue from them? Like say baby shower, you can plan other things for them. They can hold you can hold their hands over a lifetime.
Yes. That is part of our other scaling strategy, but we all know it's good to start small, and weddings are what we know, and the Bay Area is what we know, and it's already a ton of money in this area anyway, but it's something that we are already working on developing our platform further to be able to then plan a new event, book a photographer you already booked for your wedding, and if you really liked your cupcakes, you can book them again, whatever it is, yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Okay.
Oh, he had a question?
Yes, really?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, cost of acquisition? This one, yeah.
Okay, 86.
Yeah, it's obviously more costly for us to go to the brides themselves or the couples, just because it's all money that we were spending on our own advertising and marketing efforts, and they have a lower lifetime value just because they only do get married one time typically. But with vendors, they're the ones that we are really investing in. They cost less and they're here for years, and they are the ones that keep referring in their couples over and over again. So this is something that we're also very different from and all of the other our competitors, that their main focus are on the clients, the couples getting married, and instead of focusing on these businesses that are the ones that are bringing in their business into these platforms. And so that's who our main client is, are these businesses.
Thank you very much. Yes, you can come, Alexei. Yeah, Alexei, BM Power.
Hello to hardware world. This is the system. So if you want, you may touch it. So hello, I am Alexei from BM Power, founder of the company and CEO. Everything goes electric: drones, robots, and moving machines. Market for this is $80 billion. These platforms use lithium batteries, but autonomy is limited because the fundamental tech barrier of lithium batteries, their energy capacity is only 150 watt-hours per kilogram. What does it mean? It means that, for instance, if you use drone, your drone can fly only 20 minutes. That's it. This is a big problem because 85% of industrial tasks requires longer flights than 20 minutes. And we'll solve that. BM Power has a system with the energy density is 5 times more than lithium batteries. What does it mean in reality? It means that if you use drone for delivery or for industrial application, you can fly 3 hours instead of 15 or 20 minutes. If you use it for shared mobility, your range will be around 700 kilometers instead of 150 kilometers with lithium. If you use our system like a backup system for 5G network, it will be 40% cheaper than batteries. Not only this market, but it's just a bright example of this. Of course, hydrogen technology is not quite new. But our system, there are around 5 customers, 5 competitors on the market who have this almost the same solution. But our system is cost-effective, has higher efficiency, less cost of installation, and less idle time. It is very important for real business. Behind this, there are 7 years of R&D and 15 patents and know-how. We provide our customers package solution, which include plug-and-play hydrogen stack, hydrogen cartridge for refueling, and automotive control system. It allows to our customers to organize easy integration of our system to their device. And this approach allows us to obtain international awards. We were included in the list of 20 most promising technologies for drone technology and for drone markets. And we got awards from Chinese government as a global pioneer of new energy technology. Our traction confers our advantages of our solution. We completed 7 pilots in 2019 with international customers in the United Kingdom, Spain, Russia, and etc. We achieved $300,000 revenue at the moment, and we have pre-orders up to $2 million for next 2 years. And honestly, actually, we have around 50 customers in our portfolio with potential revenue up to $170 million. We are able to do so because an exceptional team. There are 15 employees at the moment in our company. 8 of us has PhD in electrochemistry, in engineering science, and in hydrogen technology. Others, well-experienced managers and engineers. And of course, we collaborate with international experts in hydrogen technology from the United States and South Africa. And you can see that our customers also excited of our technologies. They say, Alexei, your system is robust, mature, reliable, and really cheap. That is what we have been looking for years. Thank you very much. So, no, that's not, I'm not finished. Just a second. Thank you very much. It's from customers to me. So what is our plan? Yesterday, I just incorporated company in the United States. So we would like to be here and we would like to enter and expand our business activities in the United States to work with local customers. We want to achieve $1 million revenue in the next 12 months. And of course, we would like to close invest deal with investors in the first quarter of 2020. Thank you very much. Be empowered, Alexei Ivanenko.
Thank you.
This was my first speech in the United States. Yeah. So you can, this is a 1.5 kilowatt system, which can be installed in professional drone. Your questions? What does BM mean? Boom. 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 Yeah, boom power. In Chinese, it sounds baofali. It's an amazing technology, amazing energy. Yes, Alexander.
Questions?
How did you find those pilot customers?
We work with them through exhibitions, through conference, and experts who can recommend our company as a company who has a good solutions. So after we organize with them a pilot. It's a free pilot. It was in the beginning, but right now it's only payment for pilots, and they pay for this.
And then what happened after the pilot? What happened after the pilot? Do they have a kind of idea to purchase the product?
They place serial agreements for us, but right now we have a limitation, and that is why we are looking for investments. Because honestly, our runaway is around 9 months. So we have to organize certification process of the system, because from time to time, different countries have a different standards.
How much you need for the certification?
It's around for $500,000, something like that.
Are they waiting for it? Are they waiting
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it?
of course. I can show you a lot of formal use and agreements which we concluded with these agreements. Moreover, I'd like to emphasize that we are a Russian company.
Yeah.
Before yesterday, yeah. And for instance, this company is a UK military corporation. Our competitors also located in the United Kingdom. And Kinetic, big corporation, bought our system instead of Intelligent Energy. Russian system for UK military. See?
Now you are a US company.
Exactly.
You're not a Russian
Exactly.
company
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. That's my, yeah.
Yeah.
Lockheed Martin, hello, yeah.
Very impressive. Okay, just a recommendation. The very first slide you should have on there, the most powerful slide that you have in this deck, is your team. Okay, your team. You know, the guys back, yeah, right there. See, these are all, you know, very, very impressive professionals, and we all tend to start with what the problem is. I would start with what the solution is right there, because if those guys can't solve the problem, then nobody can. That's a really impressive group, and you should spend more time talking about that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for the recommendation. I've worked before in 3M and all scoring companies in the United States companies, but I when I met these guys, I also was excited regarding technologies they made and how this technology can change the market. So, and I ran out from the 3M company and go to them with this startup. Yes, 1 year and a half ago. Thank you.
Maybe I missed. How much are you raising at the moment for this round?
We don't know exactly. I've just arrived yesterday, and big differences between European invest market and United States. So I would like to see right now what the ecosystem can, and we are don't right now looking for. We are not how to say roadshow at the moment. Okay. I think we have to get a preparation. Then after in the first quarter we will start. But I think we can like something like bridge or for incorporation in the United States and starts just basic initial activities so we can discuss it. Yeah.
And one more question: how did you finance until now? Your R&D and all the...
Yeah, we have investors. We raised totally $1.3 million. So it was convertible notes through Cyprus investors. You know, this is they invest in Russian company.
Okay. Which investors you said?
Cyprus investors. So it's a group of angels, group of investors. Yeah.
One more question.
So who owns the IP? Russians, Chinese, something?
No. Chinese. It's because we are focused on Chinese also markets, but that's why I'm just mentioned it. Main IP generates Sergei Nefyokin. He is a PhD and 40 years experience in Moscow Power University. It's a part of Academy of Science of Russia. And Sergei Shubinkov. This is our two leaders in R&D and science.
So you do not see a problem about transferring IP from Russia to States?
Yeah, we're ready to do this because right now we have only 2 applications for PCT in the United States. Other technologies are in, just a second, not this slide, in know-how. So this is also our plans to switch all know-how to patents. It's very important, especially for the United States market. I understand that.
Thank you. It's time. Thank you very much for your pitch.
Thank you very
for
much.
Questions. And now we are going to listen to last pitch deck. We are going to make some changes. You can make your changes. I would like to remind the judges that dear judges, you have to vote online. Please mark startups from 1 to 5, where 5 is the highest mark. This mark means that you believe the startup is interesting for investment. And after last pitch, I will close the voting, and we will announce the winner according to your voting. So please, this is last time to make your choice and to rank startups. Does it work? Yes. Yeah, good. Control L. Yeah. I hope so. Somebody took. I know. Here it is.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Boris, board member of Lauviland Experience. We're a French startup that brings new solutions to designers and artists. Well, the problem is there is a growing demand for new graphic content, for renewal in graphic content, and mainly the tools, the existing tools do not propose any new graphical content for the designers. So the challenges are to diversify, to foster imagination, and to inspire and finally to create. Like I said, the existing tools are basically allowing designers to create from scratch, from the blank sheet, and formatting and retouching. These are powerful tools, but they do not propose any new graphical content right from scratch. So our solution is software that is a semi-automatic generator of new graphical content, generating new graphical content from images, and that can possibly bypass copyright of existing images. And in 1 year, we have the possibility to make it go to the cloud. For now, we have the desktop version, and in 1 year, we can launch it to the cloud. Our startup has a kind of big knowledge with conferences like this one in the Museum of Louvre in Paris. We have scenography. We had scenographies with museums, creative applications, artistical performances. It's a 10 years project. Why? Because we did have to take the different direction before finding the right one. Our strength is that the tool is complementary. I insist on that word, complementary to other tools like, some Photoshop or existing tools. And we have 2 patents on the algorithm and interface of that tool. And our weakness is the novelty. This is the practices, the creative practices we introduce are so new that we need adoption, and we need the adoption of new practices creating for the professionals. The market of creation, graphical creation, digital creation is big, as you can see, especially since there's many ways to diversify our offer, the usage of pictures like print and personalization, like displaying it in screen spaces, like the mobile app to do some selfie art. You take a picture and you get it into our algorithm, making something like that. We can also imagine some kind of social network with new usages of image and exploitation of visual data. So our objectives are first to have this tool adopted by professionals, first in US and then worldwide. And the second objective is to diversify the offer, like I said before. So for that, we need a team up to the task, like 10 to 12 persons, an ideal place to work, like here in the Bay, for example. And we need $5 million to go fast, and like some distribution network. So yes, and to conclude, as you can see, we thought this project has a whole system, and what I've just told you is about 5 to 10% of the whole thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Can you tell, please, more in detail why you need 5 million now?
Well, basically, we need, as I told, the whole principle of this kind of creating is so new that we need to go nearly from scratch to raise adoption. So we need targeted marketing campaigns. We need on the web to the designers. We need this money to continue to be able to continue to develop the solutions while doing such advertisement campaigns and moving from here, because we are based in France for now and we are a team of 3 guys. We need to go faster and bigger than that. So that's why. Have I answered the question?
Yes, thank you.
Can you tell us about the team and how long? You said you're working for 5 years, and what is approximate investment has been made in this project already?
Yes, this is this slide that's about that. In fact, there is many more people that were involved at some time in the project. Now we're a team of 3, but we had also web developer, also a designer. You can see here, most of the funding of the society came from personal savings from Jean-Thierry and Pascal Choumou, the founders. We also raised some research programs in France and some public loans and grants related to some prizes we won there. We were incubated 5 years in Montpellier, the town where we are based. But now we came here to raise money because we tried to raise some time, but we had the problem of the novelty and we didn't make any sales for now, and we did not have any consistent user base. Though we already validated the concept of the graphics with designers and Exaprint, the leader in France, and Dell Laboratories in France, but we don't have any users, we don't have any sales, so we needed to raise with some venture. Have I answered?
Okay, so if you don't have questions, we are going to close voting and announce the winner. So any more questions? No. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, and the 3rd place today is Julia?
I2Chain
I2Chain.
secures.
Please. Congratulations. Congratulations. And the 2nd place is?
All of Us Financials.
Please. And the 1st place in Unicorn Battle.
Yes. The most impressive. First time in the USA. BM Power.
BM Power.
Good start, yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. So thank you for joining. That's it. Thank you for joining this event, and we invite you on October 1st In Sunnyvale, join the next unicorn battle. Hmm?